26 candidates are vying for the 5 available at-large seats on Thunder Bay Council in this fall's municipal election. One of them is former Scriber Mayor Mark Figliomeni. Mark, what brings you to Thunder Bay, first of all?
Well, family brought me to Thunder Bay, to be honest. You know what? It was a family decision based around my children. I do have 5 children, 5 daughters, all of which are up here going to school, whether it's Lakehead University or Confederation College. I do have my youngest is now enrolled in St. Patrick's High School as well. But basically, the family decision was made around my children, but specifically one of my children who is enrolled in Confederation College and needs a little bit of that extra family support. So we made a family decision about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that we were gonna move to the city to support her in a lot of what where she wants to be and how we can get her that education in the next step of her life. So we're happy to be here. We've transitioned in 2018 here and in January, February, and it's exciting time. So I thought, you know what, let's throw my name into the political game here and see if we can help, and I can help bring some of my experience into the city as well.
I guess, how does that experience as the mayor of a municipality, how do you think that would position you as a councillor here?
Well, I think it's a very, very strong thing that I can add to Thunder Bay City Council. A lot of the relationships that you make in politics carry along with you a long way. So, I mean, I've had 8 years experience. I know it's municipal experience in a township, but a lot of it is the same. We as a region are quite aware of the issues surrounding the whole region, which includes the hub city, which is Thunder Bay. So I think that experience is something that I can bring as a positive impact onto City Council. It's a new face. It's a fresh face, a face that comes into the city with his eyes wide open and wanting to help, and also brings that experience. So I think it's one of those factors that I'm hoping will carry me a long way. It's one of those things that I think is important. It's a change that what we're hearing a lot of people are looking for is that positive change, and my change comes with experience. So hopefully that is something that will carry me a long way.
As a new resident of Thunder Bay, how do you get versed in the city issues in such a short time? I mean, you're within a year of moving here, and here's a municipal election. Yeah,
well, I think you get versed by talking and asking the questions. I think, you know, whether that's with current city councillors who I do have the fortune of sitting with a lot on different committees that we do sit on together, so you can always pick those ears. Again, we're a regional-based area, so I mean, as mayor and scriber, you are quite aware of what's going on around the region as well, and you study and learn. You talk to the people, which has given me this opportunity with taking a shot at City Council to talk to the people, learn the issues. You do quite quickly hear what the issues are and how you can tackle those. So I think just that, having 2 ears is something that's important. So if you can listen and listen and listen, and talk a lot less than you listen, you will learn a lot. Sure, there's lots to learn. There is a lot to learn in my role coming in, but I'm committed that if I am elected, then that's when again you build all that data together, and then you start working to move the city forward.
What are you hearing from people that are the key issues facing the city?
Yeah, definitely. You're hearing a lot of the key issues. I mean, it's based around fiscal responsibility, taxation, those type of issues. Community safety. Community safety is one that I'm hearing a lot of. Growth in the economy. I mean, how do you get the city to that next level? How do you maintain your youth? How do you provide that quality of life for all of your citizens? How do you bring industry to the community? How do you bring new families? I mean, it's all about that, as well as keeping families. And then relationships. Relationships you're hearing about as well. Those relationships with the diverse community that you live in, and making sure that as elected municipal officials that you listen to people and take that feedback back to the council chamber, because that's ultimately what it is. I mean, as elected officials, we're here to represent the constituents of the city and try to move the city in that direction that it wants to be. And I mean, it has to become that city that is a great city, and it takes a lot of hard work. But those are the main issues that I'm hearing. There's a lot of other issues that you're hearing as what I call other important issues. But if I had to pull out the top 3 or 4, that's kind of what I'm hearing.
Looking at fiscal responsibility, I mean, when you were running a municipality, you're no stranger to fiscal constraints and challenges. I guess, what kind of hard decisions need to be made at Thunder Bay looking at our municipal books?
Yeah, well, again, you got to get right in there and make those hard decisions. They're decisions that you can't always keep everyone happy in decisions that have to be made. But when you look at taxation, I mean, there's when you are out knocking on doors, there's definitely that question is, well, what am I getting for my tax dollar, and why am I paying so much? And so attacking those type of situations, attacking that, and trying to realize that in the role with experience, you do realize that taxation is a part of how you run your city, but how you can disperse that tax and make it so somebody is paying the least amount they can and spreading it out individually, or spreading it out through the industrial, commercial, and residential tax base, for example. So I think as you move along, you're going to have to make some very tough decisions. You can't look at it from this aspect of, well, we've always done it this way and this and that. You have to think sometimes outside the box in order to move your city forward, or any organization, because the city is a business. You have to run it that way. You have to make smart financial decisions. And that's why I think sometimes when you bring new people and diverse people into that decision making, that maybe you can roll up your sleeves and make those tough decisions.
As somebody who recently relocated to Thunder Bay, I guess how can the city attract people to move here and retain our current young generation?
Yeah, well, I think retention is one issue for sure. I mean, you have to find a way to build that, and it all works into the community safety piece, into the growth piece. As you can continue to build your economy, whether that's through small business, whether that's through jobs, your post-secondary institutions, both of them are full, lots of students. You have to try to maintain a way to keep those students here. You have to build your community. Small business is huge. Industry, you have to get out there and promote your community. Positive discussion is where it is. You can never not look at the negative, because that's how you have to tackle it. You have to tackle the negative and then try to spin it into a positive, which leads to the other question on attraction of new citizens. Again, I think to promote your city in a positive way, to promote people to want to stay and move to the community. So promotion of what a great city it is, and really hit the highlighted points of why it is a great city. You look at the festivals that go on in the summer, for example. You look at the things that the community does in a positive manner, and you look at your citizens in whole, and you try to bring out what is positive and promote it and make the city viable, and that's, I think, the biggest way to attract new people as well as retain your citizens. It starts with a positive attitude, and then everything else hopefully can, with hard work from the citizens as well as council, can pull that city together.
This is quite a crowded at-large race. As I said, there are 26 of you vying for 5 seats. As somebody, this is going to be your first time meeting a lot of residents of the city when you're out campaigning. How do you set yourself apart?
Yeah, I think I do exactly that. I set myself apart by trying to say and promote myself as that change, that positive change that has experience, and a regional leader. I think of Thunder Bay and the region as one, and as we all build together, it becomes one of those things that you can build the whole region, with Thunder Bay obviously being that hub. So I think I promote myself in that manner. I think I'm a positive change that comes into the election with his eyes wide open, and a new resident to the city, one that is looking to just add value to the city. I want to help. I want to try to bring some of my experience into that role, and it's one of the things you're hearing a lot of. People want some change, right? And I mean, what I heard is, a lot of people, as you look through the same lens for too long of a time, the lens gets blurry, and a lot of people are looking for that positive change and that new type of thinking on council. So it's one of those things that I'm promoting myself that way. I encourage the voters, everyone. It's important to vote. It's important to learn and be able to know who you're voting for. Study the candidates. Study the candidates. It's so important that the next 4 years of the city are in the hands of those leaders. So study the candidates, vote, be smart about your vote, and think about it, and put a lot of thought into it, because it does really set the scope of the next 4 years for the city of Thunder Bay, as well as beyond there, because as you work 4 years, you're always thinking of the future, and you're always thinking of 10 and 20 years down the road. So again, I bring to the table that experience, those relationships. I have built those relationships with both levels of government. I have those relationships in place. And experience, it's one thing for change, but it's also another thing to be able to bring change with experience.
Mark, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You can get to know all of the other candidates in the at-large race, as well as in the ward contest and the mayoral race at the Thunder Bay Vote section of tvnewswatch.com.